devices and options for the drivers out in the field. As of late, I've been getting a lot of questions from different DSD companies who are doing one of two things: either A, coming off of paper process and getting into the handheld world for the first time, or B, might be coming off the older Windows Mobile technology and getting into a smart device. And they're just a little unsure with what's going to work for them, right? Every DSD company is going to have different priorities. Drivers are going to have different responsibilities out in the field. So wanted to put together just this quick video to maybe answer some initial questions that you might have on that topic and give you some things to think about. So number one, talking about an Android device and getting something out in the field, you always want to make sure that the operating system that's on that is going to be fully supported by Microsoft. So version 7.0 or newer is what we would recommend. Recently they stopped supporting 6.0, and software companies in general are only going to be testing their solution and their platform on those updated platforms supported by Microsoft. So remember that 7.0 or newer is going to be the operating system that you want to go with, okay? Number two can be a very consumer level type device. So what do I mean by that? Something that could be an existing phone, could be a tablet that you get from a local store or maybe your provider there. You don't have to invest a huge amount of money in a device if you don't need to. So something like this, for example. Here's just a 5-inch Samsung phone. This would work really well for a driver who might have some scheduled stops where they don't really need to see a lot of information from a customer perspective. They have an order in the system. They'll be able to drill down to that order on the screen. They'll be able to make changes if they need to, get the printout done, signature, email the invoice, etc. They don't need to see a lot of information on the screen. A 5-inch screen would work real well for that. So the second option I like, and actually my personal preference, is something like a 7-inch Samsung Galaxy tablet like this. Besides that, it's very inexpensive, easy to get into, either from like your local Walmart, Costco, or one of your data providers. A driver can see a lot more information on this screen if they need to. So for example, driver goes in, they have to survey the shelf, they have to look at invoice history, they have to look at product trends. They maybe have to forecast out 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days into the future a potential order for this customer. Turning it sideways obviously is going to give you a lot more real estate to look at that type of information, okay, versus the 5-inch screen where they're going to have to scroll, might not be as efficient as they're forecasting that order, as they're looking at those product trends, as they're looking at that invoice information historically. So 7-inch Samsung Galaxy tablet is a great option for that. So the third option that I like to discuss is something a little more rugged. And why would you want to go with a more rugged device? If there's concern that the devices themselves will just get banged up a little bit, nervous that you're going to have to replace them on a regular basis, something like a tablet, Samsung Tab Active specifically would work great with that. A little bit bigger size of screen than just the regular Samsung we just looked at. You'd be able to turn it sideways again to look at that more real estate, but it's going to be a little bit beefier, heavier. It's going to have a little bit thicker OtterBox. So if it's banging against the door or getting in and out of the truck, it's going to last a lot longer, and you're not going to have to replace those devices as often. So another scenario that comes up as we talk about handheld devices is scanning, right? Specifically for those DSD companies that are coming out of the Windows Mobile world. They've been used to having the scanner built in to the device for building orders, credits, etc. If you decide that you want to use a consumer level type device, you could use a Bluetooth scanner, something similar to this. Socket mobile scanner connects to the device. I did a ride-along one time where the driver simply had this on his belt on a little string that retracts, walks in, looks at the shelf, pulls it out, beep, 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 does what he needs to do with the scanner, lets it go, easy to go, hands-free, and it sits right there on his hip, so he's not going to lose it. It is a separate piece of hardware, so again, keep that in mind. But from a cost perspective, if you think that scanning is going to be applicable for your driver out in the field, for example, if there's thousands of inventory items and a customer gets items very sporadically, there's not this set of product guide items that the driver leans on to build the order. It's just all over the board. instead of scrolling through a list of thousands of items or looking at product types that might have 30, 40, or 50 items underneath that, just scanning and bringing those into the screen automatically is going to be helpful. So the Bluetooth scanner is a great option for that. And the last option that I like to bring up and discuss with customers is more of a rugged Android with the scanner built in, something like the CipherLab RS25. Zebra makes some great products as well, the TC52s through the TC57s. It doesn't have as big a screen as a consumer level type device, so keep that in mind. You're not going to have as much real estate as you turn it sideways. You may have to scroll a little bit, but it does have the scanner built into the end of it. So as the driver walks in and calculates those credits right out of the gate, and they don't want to have to scroll and key in, they can just scan, move on and scan. A rugged Android device is perfect for that. With the scanner built into it, you're not going to have that third or fourth piece of hardware, with the handheld in your printer and that Bluetooth scanner to worry about. Might make the driver much more efficient to be able to do that, saving them time at the stops with that scanner built in. Little more costly, so keep that in mind as you're developing your budget for the handheld devices out in the field. And this is something, of course, we can help you with and give you more options to choose from if you think a rugged Android device is going to work for you. So hopefully you found this video informative and helped answer some of your initial questions on handheld devices. Would love to connect with anybody if you have further thoughts on that. And as always, put in your comments below and we'll make sure that those get addressed. You can always visit us again at www.bmobileroute.com. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.